When we went to Venezuela before we met with President Hugo Chavez, what was very important was for us to go into the barrios and talk with the people about what they felt about their president, Hugo Chavez, and not simply to take what the New York Times was saying or the Washington Post and other papers, but simply to go, because you can't fool the poor. You know, you might be able to fool them for maybe a year or two or a few months, but you can't fool the poor here either in the United States or in any country. Politicians, if they, as they often do, promise things to the poor and they don't come through, they know that they're falso. They're fakes. They're phonies. And they know who is speaking their language, who has their interest at heart. And what's going on in Venezuela, the billions of dollars for the first time from the oil reserves, the oil revenue, for the first time is not going into the pockets of the wealthy elite there, into the pockets of the wealthy elite here in the United States. It's being directed for the first time to the poor, and building them houses, getting them their little title to plots of land. People were so proud. Look, this is my title to my land. A bulldozer cannot. We don't understand this here so often. What it means to live like that, where a bulldozer can just come and tear down your shack. You have no property rights. You don't have a title to that land. Now they're getting that. There's clinics that are going up, schools being built for children. Well, for the poor, this is good news, good news. It gives them joy, it gives them hope. For the rich, it's bad news. Makes them sad. It makes them sad. But you know something? Instead of making $10 million a year, they might be making $5 million a year now, you see? But what I've learned too, the poor, the wealthy of these countries, the oligarchs and that small wealthy elite with the military on their side, will never have come to a moment in their lives where they simply say, I'm going to give to the poor what's theirs. No, it'd be wonderful if that can happen. But what's happened, and I think it had to happen perhaps just in the human condition, the poor started organizing, and they've been doing this for years at great, sacrifices. Many have been killed, exiled, imprisoned, tortured. But they're at a moment now where it has not been in vain. They're seeing results of many years of struggle and many people being killed and tortured, disappeared. They're now seeing some hope here. They're now seeing their countries being, ruled. The leaders are people who are walking in solidarity with the poor. And this is very, very encouraging. And I think it's going to continue because this sea change is not something that's just going to go away. The poor say this in Venezuela, Bolivia, in Uruguay, and Argentina. They said to us, we cannot go back to the people we used to be. And they say this, nunca más, never again will we allow our military to do what they did to us. They said shame on you. They also said shame on the media. Many newspapers, TV stations who were silent in the midst of all of the bloodshed and oppression. And they said shame too on the church, referring to the Catholic Church, because most of the bishops and cardinals and priests were silent, with few exceptions. And because of that, I know the Catholic Church in Latin America is suffering because of its sins of silence of the past. But that's the way it is. But the people have this vision now. They've kind of tasted their hope and freedom. And there's no turning back. There's no going back to live the way they used to live. And the empire, El Imperio, has a real big question they have to look at very seriously. Can we, the United States as a country, be a partner in these countries of Latin America where we were conquistadors for all these years? Can we be a partner in their development of democracy and human rights and improving the lives of the poor? Can we participate in that? Or simply we are conquistadors and cannot adjust? I mean, that decision is ours. It's ours. And if we want to continue to be the conquistadors, we're not welcome. It's best we not go. It's best we stay home because we're not welcome. I do meet a lot of people who do not act on behalf of justice because of ignorance, who do not connect to the poor of our country or other countries because of ignorance. But there's another problem. In our system of capitalism, it breeds selfishness, individualism. And that is counter to working in solidarity with others. It's more about meeting my needs. Capitalism breeds greed, I think. Egotism. It doesn't easily connect to solidarity.